Hi, guys. Welcome to the Relationship Renovation podcast. This is Tara and EJ Kerwin.
Hello, everybody.
As always, I'm always excited about every podcast, but this is a really good one and kind of different for us.
Yeah, this is like something that's super important of helping couples just be connected in fun ways. So we have Deanna and Robert, and Deanna and Robert are coming from far away across the sea from us in the UK.
They are the developers, creators of a couples card game, and it is titled Better Topics.
This game was sort of created to create connection, create joy, fun, like just a way for couples to do something together at home.
Connect in a different way.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. Welcome, Deanna and Robert.
Welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
I mean, we always like to start just by getting to know our guests, having our audience get to know you guys. So could you just, each individually tell us a little bit about yourselves, where you're from, what's your background, and then, maybe we'll hear a little bit about your relationship too.
Sure. So I'll go first. So my background is actually in law. And I've studied law in university, and then I worked in a corporate job for about 7 to 8 years almost, when I actually just started working on better topics full time. And the idea came to us after, doing some brainstorming together with Robert on what is it that I could actually do other than the corporate job, because I've gotten to a level in that job where it wasn't as fulfilling as I thought it would be in the beginning. So I was really looking for changing direction in life. And because I've also put in, a lot of effort into learning about communicating a lot, especially because of my job, and I was putting in a lot of effort into our relationship with Robert, we just thought, why not, try to help other couples, but in a fun way by creating a game that would help them communicate more, but also still have a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Where are you from, Deanna?
So I am originally from Romania, but I've moved to the UK 10 years ago. Actually, 2 days ago, it was exactly 10 years since I came to the UK.
Nice. How about you, Robert? Where are you from?
Dan and I were actually, it's a very long and weird story, but Dan and I actually were born less than 100 miles apart from each other, in the same literal region of the country of Transylvania. And then when we were 14, we both moved from because we were born in like a townsfolk type of scenarios, right? So we were born in little villages or very small towns. And then when we were 14, we both went to high school in the same city, which is Oradea in Romania. And it was interesting because our high schools were like maybe 15 minutes apart walking, and we've never met. And then we went to the same university, but to different faculties. She studied law, I studied engineering. So again, we've never met. And then she went to the UK right after uni. And then I went to various other countries. I spent a lot of years in Mexico, in the US, in Siberia at one point, and so on and so forth. And then 12 years later, after, we should have met when we were younger, we actually ended up meeting. We were both on vacation in Romania, right? So Diana was there for like 2 weeks. I was there for a longer period. And we're just both sort of on vacation, and then we've met. So.
Wow, that is such a great story.
Yeah, you guys were like parallel to each other for all that time, but just not interacting.
How long after, since you guys were both in Romania on vacation, how long after that did you guys kind of cohabitate in the same city?
So we went when we were both 14. So that was, I think, 2004. And we've gotten together in 2017, I think.
Yes.
Right? So that's 13 years later.
Yeah. Wow. Did you guys fall in love just like right away, or like tell us a little bit about your love story?
Yes.
Yes. Well, that I can say yes. I cannot say yes. I was in a different stage of my life then, where when we met initially, we met as friends, as a common acquaintance introduced us, because Diana needed her modem fixed, and I'm an engineer. And obviously, that's what everyone thinks we do. We fix Windows, laptops, and modems, right? So
everything.
that's all we do all
Engineers
day.
do everything.
So I was just brought in, and I helped her with that. We got along. We like talking, and then we just shared some views. We went to some places, but I was in another relationship, so I couldn't really do anything, and I wasn't even planning on.
Right.
But then it was so weird, but because not long after my relationship ended, but like in a totally unpredictable manner. So that was so weird. Had nothing to do with Diana. And then I came back to Romania disappointed because that was a very long relationship and it just ended. I was like, okay, what do I do now?
Right.
So I stayed for a while thinking, and I, chatted to a lot of friends to see, okay, what do I do now with my life, and so on. And then at one point, I kept in touch with Diana, and she said, well, if you want to, you can come to the UK, right? I'm here, you're free to join. But then, she said that if you're looking for a relationship, then it has to be something serious. Otherwise, you need to let me know you're just coming, to visit, because it's one or the other, right?
Yeah, very direct and assertive. Way to go.
Yeah. I like that because I also was at a certain age where I didn't want to waste time also.
Mm-hmm.
Also, by that time, because we've seen each other a few times as friends back home, he kind of knew me already. So it wasn't like he will come here and then get to know me. He kind of had an idea who I am, what type of person I am, that, normally I'm very straight and forward with everything.
Love it. That's refreshing.
And we just enjoyed each other's company like crazy, like friends.
Yes.
Like it felt like we were friends since we were in kindergarten, and we just got along so well, and everything was great. But in my mind, I was like, well, I'm in a relationship. It's great. I have a new best friend, or whatever. But that's about it. And then when my other relationship stopped, I was like, okay, well, wow, let's think this through. What direction do we want to go in?
Yeah.
And I just said, well, you know what? We enjoyed our company very, very much. So yes, I guess if I'm coming to the UK, I want to see if this can work.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow. And here you guys are.
Yeah. How long have you been together, Diana?
It's 4 years.
4 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
4 years that we've been together and 3.5 since we are married.
Oh, wow. That was
Love
quick.
it. Well, they had that friendship base first. So when was like the first seed of the game that you guys created? Like who brought it up? So the name is Better Topics, right? That's the game for couples. Tell us like the very first, how it popped into your mind.
So I think there are two things here that are very important to know. So based on Diana's story, she said, let's create a card game for couples, that they can enjoy. Well, that didn't just come like that. We love card games and board games. We have a ton of them. And so we just naturally buy them. And we said, let's buy some card games for couples because there must be some out there. And we did. And they're very bad.
Tell us how you really feel, Robert.
Yes. No, I mean,
they're really bad.
We won't use any words in French, obviously, but they're just not good games, right?
Right.
For example, one of the main games on Amazon and online right now, I'm not going to say the name because that's not the point, but their game, and we bought it, is literally like 100 cards or whatever it is of pure questions. And that's it.
We might have that in our lobby, Robert. I think
you might have it.
We might.
Yes. But basically, it's just a question printed on paper. We might as well have just gone online and, asked ourselves questions. So it's not a real game. It doesn't have any rules, doesn't have anything to make it, fun or exciting or
just
surprises. Yeah, it's just questions. So,
also, so many questions were one-off questions. Like you ask them once and that's it. Once you go through all the questions, you can literally throw the game out because you've done with it.
Yeah.
Right.
And many of the questions didn't even seem, appropriate, especially for someone who, like us, we've been together for a while now. And we know all the basic questions like what's your favorite color or your favorite season or these type of things. We already know those things about each other. We wanted something deeper that would actually contribute to our relationship.
And again, it's not, even if you don't know those things, right? Like let's say you're a newer couple or you just never bothered to ask. It's a one-off question, and all of them are one-off. So we said,
Right.
no, we still have it here somewhere, but it's probably gathering dust somewhere in the house,
Yeah.
right? We might give it to somewhere or donate it. So that's it. It's not a real game. It's just questions printed. So we were disappointed with that. And then I think how it came about was that even though my background is in engineering, I have a lot of businesses. This is what I love to do. I just love building businesses. And the way I build them is I build them through systems and empowerment, right? So I put in the systems that I need, and then I empower people to just go. You do what you need to do, and we'll make sure it works. So we just realized that there's a gap in the market because there's no real playable card game for couples. And we actually market ourselves as that. Is the world's first truly replayable card game for couples.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, one of the things just in your story, right, about creating is, we talked to the couples we work with about like how do we support each other in sort of making our dreams come true or becoming our best selves, and that's one of the functions of relationship is helping each other, be happy and well.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, I mean, let's get into it. I mean, tell us about this game. It's called Better Topics, right?
Yeah. Well, as you can imagine, it has evolved a lot. We are at if you count the prototype, we're at version 3 of the physical game. And since then, we've actually put together an entire online version of it has, a million more benefits to it, and that we're very, very excited about. We're launching it this year. I mean, it's already live and people can see it and can buy it, but we have like a full launch of it in the next few weeks. I'll let Diana explain the game itself, the physical game, and then I can talk about the online version of it.
So they are both quite similar, as in they both have a lot of repeatable questions. So we've put a lot of effort into curating a lot of questions that can be asked every week without it being mundane at some point, because the answers to those questions will always change from week to week, because the things that couples experience every week tend to change. And we have different type of questions like memories or past stories or curiosities, or even things that couples want to do in the future. Alongside that, we also have a lot of game-like elements that we call modifiers. So, for example, you each deal either 5 or 7 cards to each other, and then you start asking a question, and you use those modifiers to either ask more questions, as into why, with whom, how did you react to that, or you can also cancel the question, or even better, reverse the question. So if your partner thinks, they got you because, there's a difficult question that they are asking you to answer, you can actually reverse that by using one of the modifiers. And the game plays on, and whoever gets rid of their cards first, that's the winner of that round. And another really great feature that we really love about the game, so we've basically got all the card games that we have in the house, and we put together all the great things that we like about each one of them, and we've created better topics. Because once there is a winner, the winner also gets to choose their own reward out of the reward deck that comes with the main deck itself.
Yeah, I love that part of it.
Obviously, the partner needs to fulfill that. And usually it's something not too big, just because we wanted to keep it light, but still fun, and still, filled with things that most people can do for each other.
A little foot massage, a little wash the dishes
type of deal.
Yes, exactly. You got it.
Can you guys give an example of just like what one question might be?
So one of the questions that I really, really like is, when was a time that you needed me most last week?
Wow, I love that.
And I really love this question because it gives such a good insight into when are the exact times when your partner is struggling and they would need support, even if you cannot really do anything for them, but just for the fact that you can be there, And the more they answer this question, the more you can see where the pattern is. So when those type of situations start arising again, you can be there without them having to
notice
ask.
Them.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I love that it's because we have kind of like when couples go through our relationship renovation program, whether it's in office or at home, one of the questions when they're kind of going through their more of the positive psychology piece, but it's like, what strengths do we have? Or when was a time that I needed you or that you needed me and that I came through for you? But that's just one question. I love that this is like a weekly, like you could kind of go into this weekly and really start to know and recognize like when your partner's needs better every week. I love this.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things is when we first spoke and talked about bringing you guys on that I loved about this is that it's not just about having fun or it's not just about like, kind of like occupying time together, that you have an element of this game that really is about enriching your relationship, about getting to know each other better, about like coming out of it feeling closer than when you started the game, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you really do have fun with it because many times, as Diana said, you have all of these modifiers and you really want to win because you want to choose a reward for yourself.
Exactly. And I'm very competitive.
Yeah, exactly. It becomes competitive and, you keep playing the game until, we play typically 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 5, rounds.
Yep.
So you use up some cards in the first round, then you put them aside. And then you shuffle the deck again and you give cards from the cards that are remaining. So you never ask the same questions, right? You always keep playing. And because we have 52 questions, it's almost impossible to go through all of them in one sitting, right? You would need to play for like 2 hours to have all of those, right? So we've made it in a way that you can literally play it every single week. And, you would never feel like, oh, well, this question I shouldn't ask anymore, right? And if you do, you can still pull it out because there are 52 other ones. And we have like also 5 extension decks, physical extension decks and digital as well, if you want them. But that's another 100 cards, right? On top of the 50.
Also, we have the option to customize the game.
Yeah.
So each couple can customize the game to their own relationship because with the main deck, we also give out 6 custom cards that people can use to create their own repeatable questions if they want to, or their own rewards if we haven't covered those already.
Yeah.
So they can make it their own and they can, play it in so many different ways and still have a lot of fun with it. And basically grow the relationship.
That's awesome.
One of the things that we encourage with all of our couples that we work with is spending quality time together, at least just an hour a week. And I know that couples that have kids, that's a little bit harder time, but you would be surprised that like a lot of couples we see here, they don't have that quality time. So it's kind of like this game is just like really reminding me of like what a great opportunity. Because when we say quality time, it's not about watching a movie together. It's not about, being in your phone. Like for us, quality time is no distractions, being curious about each other. And it sounds like this is like a great exercise to have couples like really have that quality time together. And when we see our couples in here, they come in because things aren't great, right? They're experiencing a crisis in their relationship, a lot of anger, a lot of resentment, a lot of frustration. And what we really try to do with our couples here is like, okay, there was a time where you guys felt really good, right? That there were positive feelings and empowered feelings. And I think it's hard when couples are in distress to recognize that. And so again, another kind of area where this game could be really helpful is creating those positive experiences together is going to help couples who are in distress have more positive feelings towards each other so then they can talk about the difficult ones. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Benefits of this game are many. Wow.
Yeah. What kind of feedback have you guys received from people who've played it over the time since it's been out?
Oh gosh.
Oh my God.
So amazing. We can't believe it. We're so happy.
The feedback has been so great. And we had feedback from literally all over the world. We had feedback from someone in Japan, for example, who got the game because, their relationship wasn't great. And this guy wanted to play it with his wife. And interesting enough, his wife didn't want to play it. So what he did was he actually started memorizing some of the questions so he could ask her during dinner, which I thought was a brilliant idea.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And he said, the questions went well and the answers as well. And his wife started like talking to him So he was planning the next day, to memorize some more questions and then continue the discussion, which I thought was brilliant because it was a very good, first step into getting her to open up and being more open into playing a game that also helps the relationship. So from that really good feedback to even people that have been together 30 plus years, and they said that, they know everything about each other. They don't really in the game, but they like us as a couple, so they still wanted to support us by getting the game. They've still played it, and they were quite surprised of how we actually asked the questions, because they never thought of the things and the stuff that's going on in the relationship from that point of view, how we've asked it. And it actually started some very interesting discussions between them two, which was quite really nice to hear that this game also helps newer couples, but also people who have been for many, many years together as well.
Which is so important. I mean, one of the things that couples who have been together for a while, they kind of lose that curiosity piece. And I think one of the, when couples go through our program here, we kind of go through like a whole relationship timeline, and, we go in depth because we're therapists here, but having that curiosity open up again and thinking they know everything about each other is absolutely a myth, because the thing that I've noticed is that when someone's curious and you guys are talking to each other in a vulnerable way, that compassion for the other person just keeps building and building. And curiosity is the one thing that makes us feel like we're still really important. Like, oh, he or she still cares. They still care. That feels really good, whether it's 2 days, 2 months, 2 years, or 20 years,
So tell us, so you've sort of evolved it. It started off as just the card game. That's still happening, but you mentioned earlier that now it's kind of moving into the online realm. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so what we noticed is that the physical world gives us a lot of limitations, as you can imagine. It's like comparing letters to email.
Right.
We love physical things because we own a lot of games, and we play them, and, it's just who we are. But also sometimes we're just literally not in the same room, and also there's no tracking of it, you can't really add even more game elements, right? Because if the complexity of it would turn most people off. So we've thought of so many different items that we could add to the game, but it would make it more complex to the point in which you would think about the rules more than think about the conversation, right? So we wanted to keep it on the conversation side. However, all of those things can happen semi-automatically online, right? So we've created Better Topics memberships where people can sign up. They pay a yearly membership. The cheapest one is very affordable. I think it's like $19 or something like that for the entire year, right? So,
So that's something like $1.50 a month.
Yeah, we made it very, very affordable. But basically, dependent on what you buy, you get various benefits. So let's talk about the benefits. So number one is every time you ask questions, you get points, right? And you get more and more and more points. And then based on those points, you can then, buy certain other things. For example, you can buy even real world items. So you can buy our extension decks.
Yeah.
Right? You can buy as many extension decks as you want. You can buy as many new modifiers as you want. You can buy Joker cards, which on the spot allows you to ask a question of your choosing. So if you buy a Joker card, you can ask any question you want. Basically, you just write down the question and then it asks your partner that specific question. And you still get points the same way.
I like this. You got the intimacy deck. You have the new couple deck, the parenting deck. You can kind of create a deck related upon like what you're currently like going through, sort of.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we can create that. So because online now gives us so much opportunity, we can work with someone like you guys to make a deck specifically for things that you want to do, right? So we can put that deck and we can put it in the store and then anyone can buy it.
Yeah. It's just such a great way to have that curiosity in a positive way. After being in a therapy session, that can be really hard for some couples.
Well, I think also like a lot of times, couples are just like trapped into this idea that the only way they can have a date is if they like get a babysitter for the kids and then they go out and everything else. And like, I know it's been for Tara and I a long time in our relationship where we've used, things like this or just make, stay dates where we just like stay at home. We, maybe we separate from the kids a little bit or, and we just create an hour and a half, 2 hours where at home we pay attention to each other and we have fun together. And that is so important because if you're not careful, couples just drift apart. And, you guys have created this great game to help couples cultivate that connection. And that's like so important.
Thank you so much. Yes, exactly. So we're obviously on the same page. We want to keep adding value to as many couples as we can. And now we have the ability to have all of the ideas we wanted to put into the physical game. Now we can put online. For example, one of the things we really wanted to do, and we did do in our online memberships, is weekly couple challenges.
Ooh,
so
awesome.
Each one of you gets a secret challenge.
Oh, a secret challenge.
Yeah, you can choose. And you say, okay, this is my challenge for the week. And this is what I need to do. And then you take like a picture, something of proof that you've done the challenge. Like, for example, leave a romantic love note somewhere, in the dormitory.
Aww,
whatever types of challenges. And every week you get the option of choosing between 3. And then you choose one, you do that. And then you take a proof of that. And then you send it to the other person. And then they need to accept, oh, yes, my partner did that. And then also you have another section, which, for example, has the entire history of every single question that was asked, the answer for that, all of the pictures, because with memberships, you can leave voice replies, you can leave video replies, you can take pictures, right? So all of those amazing conversations are saved, right, in your membership. And have that, you can rejoice every single time you go through them,
right,
and so on and so forth.
Yeah. I mean, what's cool about it, and I think definitely want to encourage our listeners to check it out, is that you guys clearly are continuing to evolve, the product, and you guys are making it more and more and more engaging, and you're listening to the people who are checking it out. So, so let's give it to our audience, where can they check you out? The physical game, the online game, kind of give them an idea of where you're at.
So the best place to find us is if you go to bettertopics.com.
Perfect.
If you just go to the website, you'll see like a button in the header, choose membership or something like that. But you can also go to bettertopics.com/membership.
And for the physical card games, they can also be found on our website or on Amazon as well.
Yeah. Perfect.
I'm going to take up this little couples challenge with EJ, and then you might have to be back on our podcast in 30 to 60 days. I was also thinking it's probably great for long distance relationships too, just to really stay emotionally connected. So, our passion is helping couples have awesome, healthy, loving, secure relationships that can kind of weather the ups and downs, and just getting to know other people in the world that are trying to do the same thing makes my little heart very warm and fuzzy.
Yeah. Well, I know that Tara and I will be playing Better Topics.
It's happening.
If not tonight, definitely this weekend.
And that I will win. And that I will have more points.
She wishes.
And we will follow up with you guys and let you know how it goes.
Right on. Well, thank you. Thank you, Deanna. Thank you, Robert. It's been a pleasure to have you guys on. Better Topics sounds like just an amazing product for couples to check out to bring them together.
Yes. And I already just started following you guys on Instagram at Better Topics. It's right there. That's so cool.
And just before we go, I just want to tell that, to all your audience, whoever wants to sign up for the memberships that Robert mentioned earlier, we have a discount code.
Oh, perfect.
So if they use the code Renovation 10, as in renovation and the number 10.
Ooh, Renovation 10.
They will get 10% off of any of the paid memberships.
All right. Well, thank you guys again. And
thanks for doing what you do and all the research you did behind this too. It's awesome.
Thank you so much for having us on your podcast. We had a lot of fun.
Yes. Thank you.
Right on. And, thank you everybody out there for listening. Please, continue to check us out. Please tell another friend, another couple about our podcast, and
absolutely,
and help us just help people have the most loving, connected relationships they can possibly have.
Absolutely.
You can always find us social media wise. We are
Instagram is at relationship_renovation.
Yeah.
Facebook is at He Said She Said Counseling. And our website, www.hesaidshesaicounseling.com.
Yeah. Everybody have a wonderful week. And
very grateful for our listeners, and happy gaming, couples. Happy gaming.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Me and you riding on the train, me and you listening to the rain. Me and you, we are the